Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. First of all, let me apologize for my excessive tardiness. I just completely lost track of the time. It ain't no deeper than that. Why my hair wrap look like this? Anyway. So please forgive me and thank you for hanging around. Okay. So here's the thing. The first thing that I want to talk about is I want to clarify something. Witchcraft is not fake. I do not like the way my hair wrap look. I really don't. I really don't like the way my hair wrap look at all. It looks so funny. Why it look funny? Anyway. The first thing that I want to talk about or want to say about witchcraft is it is not fake. Witchcraft is not fake. Witchcraft. You see what I'm talking about? They talking about something. It's all right. No, it's not. Not really. Not when you sit here looking like an alien head. Hold on. Because I can't even concentrate on myself. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. But I wasn't going to do it. I am not doing a whole show with my hair wrapped sitting high and looking low. We not sitting high and looking low. Okay. Now. Witchcraft is not fake. It is a real thing. The effect is real. The methodology with which it is done is real. The intent is real. The reason that I'm stressing that is because we have a tendency, those of us who are Christian or Muslim or what have you, have a tendency to witchcraft fake. That's fake. No, it's not. The movie depictions of it, and you know what I'm saying, the Hollywood depiction of it may be fake, but it's not fake. The reason why you know it's not fake is because Allah give us protection from it. And Allah is not trying to protect us from something that can't affect us or that it is not real. Okay? We're not being gaslit by the Most High. The Most High tell us to be protected away from sihr, all forms of sihr, all forms of magic and things of that nature, because it is real, not because it's fake. Okay? We can recite Ayatul Kursi, we can recite all 4 Quls and various other ayats of Quran in order to shield ourselves from every form of sihr and magic. Okay? Various ayats of Quran, specifically about the jinn, some of the jinn who were under the authority of Sulaiman alayhi salam. There's a lot of misconception about him. He was not committing any shirk, and he was not practicing sihr. Sulaiman alayhi salam was an authority over not only the humans in his company, but also the jinn in his company. He was the authority over them. Even the shayateen among the jinn had to respect Sulaiman's authority. He was given authority and command over the wind, such that his armies and himself could move quickly across great distances. That was just one of, or a couple of, the different things that he was granted by Allah for being a prophet of Allah. He was a king prophet. During his reign, some of the shayateen were practicing sihr because they're shayateen. They were sneaking. They were trying to sneak. They were doing it without his knowledge. Once he came to understand that that's what was happening, he warned the humans among his people to don't listen, to don't try to learn nothing from the shayateen about no sihr, because that's haram. It's haram. You can't do that. And he warned the shayateen, y'all got to stop too. If I find out any of y'all are actually doing it or teaching it or propagating it, it's going to be trouble. But the humans did not listen. And they continue to try to gain this knowledge from the shayateen. So eventually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent 2 angels, Harut and Marut, to them. Because part of what was intriguing them was that it was unknown. It was the mystery of it all was intriguing to the humans. And it was taking them out of deen. It was taking them away from the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's kufr. So Harut and Marut was charged with 2 things: to teach it, to remove the mystery from it, and thus remove the intrigue. But they also took an oath from every person that wanted to come to them that person would never use it. It's not for use. It's not for belief. Don't believe in it. That was a test. You wasn't supposed to come to Harut and Marut to learn it. That was the test. But I digress. But they did come to Harut and Marut to learn. And then broke the oath afterwards. After Harut and Marut left, they broke the oath and began to propagate the knowledge anyway. I'm saying all of that to say that Allah has addressed sihr in both the Torah and the Quran. He has addressed it. And every address was against it, to leave it alone, because these are forces that the human being, A, doesn't understand, and B, cannot control. The other thing that I want to stress before I get into the various forms of witchcraft, specifically divination, the other thing is that witchcraft in and of itself is a warped form or an inverted form or an inverted warped method that is meant to mimic and or subvert the power that Allah has given his prophets over the centuries, over humankind, and has also been granted to some of the pious people historically. You'll see what I mean as I go. Okay. Oftentimes, the practitioners of witchcraft in any form will try to they'll try to soften it to people who don't practice or don't understand witchcraft. They'll try to soften it. They'll try to make sure that it's not, jarring. So they will say, we ain't stirring no pot and got a witch hat on. You don't. But witchcraft has never needed that. Actual witchcraft don't look like that. That's the Hollywood version. So what they'll say is, we don't do that, which they don't. But that doesn't mean that they're not casting spells. And that doesn't mean that they're not actually doing witchcraft or trying to. Okay? They will also try to tell you that there's a difference in the intent for the practicing of sihr. Some witches use it for good, some witches use it for bad. All of it is bad. The reason why all of it is bad is because all sihr, and I'm using the Arabic term sihr because it's comprehensive in its meaning. Witchcraft is almost too narrow there, because there's a lot of different kinds of witchcraft and ways in which to, there's a lot of different sorceries, witchcrafts, things of that nature. It's a lot. So sihr is a more comprehensive term. S-I-H-R, if you had to try to use English letters to spell it. Sihr. So all sihr is bad, because all sihr is an attempt to gain the spirit, the spiritual fruit, the fruit of being spiritually close to Allah, the fruit of being spiritually enlightened through the Most High. It attempts to get that fruit by circumventing Allah and circumventing the Amr of Allah, circumventing the law. So it's a robbery. It's an attempt to get stuff, but you don't have to obey Allah. You don't have to follow his law. You don't have to do the spiritual work that it takes to become pious in the eyesights of Allah in order to get what you need. It's an attempt to circumvent all of that. This is why Allah always say that it's bad. Allah does not differentiate, well, this amount of sihr is okay, this amount of sihr. He don't differentiate. He never differentiated. All. It's the, no matter if you think it's light or heavy. Okay? So Allah does not say, well, you can do this form, but you can't do that form. No. You can't do any of it. You can't do or believe in any of it. You can't believe in it. You can have knowledge of it, because you can have knowledge of your enemies and knowledge of the way in which your enemy behave. But belief in it is something different. And the practice of it takes you outside of belief in Allah. So if you call yourself quote unquote a Muslim, but you practice any form of sihr, that take you out of deen. It's out, you're out. And trust and believe, there are a lot of different cultures that call themselves outwardly they Muslim, but they practice, like in a subculture, they will practice some type of sihr while knowing that Islam forbids it. So what I want to take you through is it's a minority of people who practice it. That it's always been in a minority. The majority of people don't practice it. The majority of people do not know how to practice it. They don't understand it. They don't know how to open it up. They don't know how to begin, which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. But the reason I'm focusing on it is because of the video that I did earlier. They're trying to weasel it into the mainstream more and more and more. And we got to say something about that. So the thing about it is, I want to talk about some of the methodology that you need to be aware of, terminology and concepts, because they try to use disarming terminologies to describe witchcraft. We just spiritual. Beware of anybody that can't name their God and just tell you it's spiritual. I just believe in the universe. I just believe in the energies. No. That's a catch-all term so you can say what you're not saying. They don't want to say that they are witches because that is a part of being a witch or a warlock. The part of being a witch or a warlock is that you don't tell people you're a witch or a warlock. You're not supposed to tell people that. People are not supposed to know that you have the ability nor the knowledge. Okay? So real witches and real warlocks do not openly say that they practice any of it. In point of fact, they will deny it. They will deny. And they will say, no, I'm Christian. No, I'm Muslim. No, I'm, you know what I'm saying? They'll try to say that while not believing any of it and not actually practicing any of it. Okay? So, what I find to be one of the aspects of witchcraft that is mostly practiced in modern times is forms of divination. Divination is the attempt at predictions of the future and or gaining knowledge of the unseen, gaining information or knowledge that you would not come by or be aware of through normal practical means. And there are various forms of divination. Okay? One of the first forms of it is oneromancy. And that is a form of divination involving dreams, prophetic dreams and or visions with an idea that these dreams have projected or informed the dreamer of some future event, or they are able to gain some information or knowledge through the dream that they otherwise would not know. It is a warped form of one of dreams. Prophetic dreams is actually one of the 40 parts of prophethood or nubuat. Okay? There have been many prophets whose number one way of proving that they was a prophet was the prophetic dream, the ability to have the prophetic dream. This is something from Allah. Witches try to gain that by circumventing Allah, circumventing that form of spiritual work. They do other work in order to attempt to gain the fruit of that. Are we understanding it so far? Thank you. It was Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salam was one of the more prominent with that specific ability. So you'll hear a lot of chicks talk about, I saw it in a dream. I know you doing such and such because I dreamed it. And this isn't to say that there is no such thing as a true dream, but it's rare. It's rare. It's rare that a person has that actual ability that Allah give them. That's rare. That's very rare. Very. The next kind of divination is necromancy. Often that is associated with the raising of the dead. But on a lesser note, it is the summoning of the spirit of the dead in order to get information from them, and also the sending of a spirit in order to do a deed or a task for the summoner. So sometimes you will hear them talk about summoning ancestral spirits, the spirits of their ancestors, summoning those spirits. These are not your ancestors. See, once you understand the nature of the jinn, who is who they actually interacting with, once you understand the nature of the jinn, you understand it. These are not your ancestors. The jinn are capable of shapeshifting to any form, animal or human. They do not have corporeal forms of their own. So when they interact on the corporeal plane with the human beings, they usually take some form, some physical form. If you call upon an ancestor, they'll show up. Usually the jinn that used to be associated with that ancestor or knew them. They do talk, they do communicate. They are not ghosts. Jinn are not ghosts. Jinn are not the ghosts of the dead. The jinn is a separate creation of Allah with free will and their own thoughts, communities, and ways in which they live. They can see us and we cannot see them unless we summon them. Or unless they slip up and let you see them. Okay? So the jinn are not ghosts. They're actual beings, which Allah have the same criteria for them than they have for us to believe in Allah. Those jinn who cannot believe in Allah, who refuse, the kuffar among the jinn are the shayateen. That might be getting a little deep, but we scratching a little bit beyond, just a little bit beyond the surface today. So necromancy is often associated with the raising of a dead person, making a zombie, and so forth and on. It's more common that the person who is summoning, who's doing the summoning, is attempting to reach the spirit of an ancestor or an old spirit that they believe have the ability to do some task or give them some type of information. Witches thrive on information, having information about those whom they consider their enemies or who could be potentially their enemies. Information is key to them. And they often use other people's ignorance or apathy towards them in their that is to their benefit, because most people call themselves don't believe that witchcraft exists, or that there is a such thing as spells that actually work and stuff like that. See, as long as you think that don't work, they can have a one up because you don't think they can do what they can do, and they're not telling you that they can do it. We're going to go on a quick break, and we're going to come back after these messages. We'll be right back. I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you're trying to keep your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, then you need this body butter that's on your screen right now. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, that link is pinned to the top of the chat, ashkicking.com. Oh, you guys are bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to Okay. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you. Bella Noche said, please and blessings to you, Crimson, in the chat. I thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Thank you to Renzo. Says spelling words letter per letter is spell casting, is also witchcraft. Witchy oneself, the craft beyond a belief system, and is literally a knowing. Thank you, Sister Beshua. Said Madam Sprinkle Sprinkle appears to be a practitioner of witchcraft. She has mentioned spells. Sadly, there are so many Black women who follow her. Thank you, Buddy King. Said thank you for saying it out loud and sparing none. Peace be with you. Thank you again to Renzo. Saying indoctrination equals witchcraft. Thank you, D-Rock. Said very informative topic. And thank you, Charles, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Okay. The next form of divination is geomancy, and that is the use of the earth or any other organic material in order to predict the future or gain insight or information. If you all like me, then you are aware of those of us who may have been in your family, old women and old men who might have been in your family. I had a great uncle that used to read coffee grounds, the reading of bones, coffee grounds, tea leaves, anything that's from the earth or an organic material. Okay. So geomancy is the use of the earth and or other organic material in order to try to predict the future or gain insight or information that they otherwise would not know. The next one is hydromancy or scrying. They call it scrying. SCRYING, scrying. To scry means to look upon to use water, to look upon the reflection of the water, to ripple the water and attempt to read the ripples of the water, to see images or visions that are reflected on the surface of the water. The crystals are generally used in conjunction with the water in order to be in the process of divination. So there are a lot of chicks with these crystals, you know, and this is supposed to do that, and this crystal's supposed to mean that, and this element is supposed to mean that, and all of those sorts of things, and holding in your hand for a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Meditating over it, having it on an altar, you know, all of these sorts of things. And they swear to God, they're not praying to it, but using it as a focal point. This is why idol worship was banned. This is why idol worship was banned. La ilaha illallah. No idols. No idols. There are no. Allah said, do not make any graven images. Don't try to make an image of him or none of that. None of it. You don't need any physical thing that you look at or that you have in order to focus on Allah. You don't need it. You don't need it. Allah gave us prayer. Allah gave us prayer. That's your focal point. Think on Allah's attributes. Think. We don't have little images of Muhammad or look. No images associated with that. And anybody trying to make an image associated with that, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah. We don't make images for this. We don't need no images. We don't try to make images of Jibreel alayhi salam and the angels. No. We don't need it. Whatever description Allah gave, that's it. We don't need no more than that. Or if he didn't give no description, we don't need no more. Pyromancy is divination through the observance of the wind, the weather, cloud movement, things of that nature. That's less used that I observe nowadays, with modern divination. The next one is pyromancy, divination using flames or the smoke from the flames. This one is an interesting one, considering that the jinn are made of a smokeless fire. That is their nature, just like we are earth. We are earth. So when we pass away, our bodies go back to the earth. We actually become the earth again. I don't know why people don't take that for what that is. When we die and we decompose and you put us in the dirt, we completely biodegradable. We literally return back to the earth as earth. The malaika are made of nur, or a pure source of light. And the jinn are a smokeless fire. The use of candles, the burning of candles, the burning of things, and the attempt to observe the smoke from that flame or the flame itself to gain, again, knowledge that otherwise you could not come across, or to gain insight on anything that you concentrated your mind to. Soothsaying, which is something very specific. It is specific to the use of animal entrails and organs for the purpose of divination. So you will notice, I do believe in the Bible, it will talk about soothsaying. In the Quran, it talks about soothsaying, specific. And again, that is the use of animal entrails and organs in order to, for the process of divination. Pyromancy, which is a popular one. Pyromancy is palm reading, the reading of the different lines in the palm, various, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, and assigning the lines specific meanings that will be specific to the person's palm, that person's life. So when you go to palm readers, they are practicing chiromancy or palm reading as a form of divination. Oh, you're going to get married these many times. Oh, I see a death coming up. Oh, I see money coming up. Oh, I see a loss of this type. You need to be careful. Is it somebody in your life that da-da-da-da-da? You need to be careful of them people. Palm reading, chiromancy. And last but not least, astrology. Not to be confused with astronomy, which is the study of the celestial bodies, outer space, the moon, the stars, you know, of the planets. So the study of celestial bodies is astronomy. The zodiac is astrology. The reading of horoscopes, the attempt at divination using tarot cards, oracle cards. Okay. And not mentioned anywhere, but I included as a form of divination is the concept of manifesting. The concept of manifesting. All of this is a warped form of getting what you could get by obedience to Allah. Obedience to the Most High will get you anything you need. All of these forms of witchcraft, divination, and I have not touched sex magic, possession magic. When I say possession magic, I don't mean possessed by a demon. I mean the magic spells that you use in order to possess a person, to possess them, to have them. To collect that person's energy, to bind it. To bind that person's thoughts to you or to something that you choose to bind them to. or binding a spirit to the person. Okay. All of this is an attempt to get what, if you did the spiritual work of getting closer to the Most High, you probably would get, which is a sensitivity towards the spiritual realm, because there is a spiritual realm. Allah tell us that. The Most High tell us that. Because what do we think heaven and hell is? That's a spiritual realm. When the Most High tell us about a resurrection, that's a spiritual thing. Okay? When he tells us about the shayateen, that's a spiritual thing. He tells us that we fight spirits and principalities. The spiritual realm is real. And I need my fellow Christians and all, I need y'all to understand that that's real. It is not fake. It is real. It's not hocus pocus. It's not, all of these little funny words that we try to pass it off and laugh it off and act like it's real. And it's not just real for the people who believe in it. It's real because Allah say it's real. It's real because the Most High say it's real. He know what he created. He know what he did. He know what the creations are and what they're capable of and what their desires are and people's proclivity towards it. He knew that there would be a subset of people who would be drawn to the shayateen and their working, who would be drawn by the mystic element of them. The shayateen are mysterious because they are not human. However, they are intelligent and can communicate. That's the mystique. They're not some dumb thing. They can talk. They know what's going on. They got a lot of information. However, it's not information that we should be privy to. And they're not the source we should be going to for it. Because they want something. The shayateen do not work for free. They do not work for free. You have to pay them. And money don't work. They don't spend money. They do spend energy. Many of them are malevolent. The shayateen are malevolent. There are no good shayateen. They're malevolent. They are in the disobedience of Allah. They are in the disobedience consistently. And they will do whatever it is that you think you telling them to do. And they do enter into bargains and agreements and contracts with you if you call upon them. They don't work for free. Now, a witch will try to tell you, what's the difference between them doing divination rites in whatever method they choose and praying? What's the difference between divination, manifesting, and praying? They'll try to confuse you by trying to tell you that this is the same thing. It is not the same thing. The key difference is that when you go to the Most High to ask for something, we're going to the source of all the power, Allah has the power to grant or not grant without negative consequence. See, we as Muslims believe la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no strength and there is no power except in Allah. Nothing else has strength or power to bring forth anything, to deny anything, to grant you anything, to deny you anything. Nothing has that power except Allah. No matter where you go for it, only Allah can do it. And he let people do what they want to do. So if you call yourself going to a jinn to ask, you asking the universe, you asking the earth, you asking Mother Earth, you asking the ancestors, you whoever it is that you claim you asking, he let you do it. He lets you do it. That's on you. Because you could have just as well asked him. But this is what I said in the beginning and the end of it. The purpose of witchcraft is to circumvent Allah or attempt to do so. I don't have to obey Allah. I don't have to be bound by his commandments. I don't have to be bound by his law in order to receive things from that source. I can be free of all bounds. That's the point. It's chaos energy. I can be free of order. Do as thou wilt, and let that be the whole of the law. Do as thou wilt. Do what you want to do without restriction. I don't have to follow what the Most High said in order to get things from the Most High. I don't have to go to the Most High, because in order to get stuff from the Most High, I actually would have to be obedient. I don't want to be obedient. I want to do what I want to do. And when I want to do what I want to do, because Allah's law directly conflict with that. Allah's law directly conflict. It conflict with a female using her period blood as a form of binding in a spell, because we can't eat blood. That is haram. And we can't have sex on our periods. That is haram. That's where the uptick of running the red light come from. That's a form of binding and sex magic. So Allah know what he doing when he makes certain stuff forbidden. Don't seem like it's tied into nothing. It's tied into a whole lot. It prevents the believer from going into sihr and shirk. Sihr, magic, shirk, the worshiping of something besides Allah or in conjunction with Allah. The adding of partners in worship to Allah, shirk. Allah has told us many times we cannot commit shirk and be okay with him. La ilaha illallah. There is nothing worthy of worship besides Allah. Hear, O Israel, your Lord is one Lord. Thou shalt not have any other God before me. He done said it in all kind of ways. Allah don't play that. He don't play it at all. Joining partners with him, worshiping something outside of him, or worshiping something, call yourself, you believe in Allah, but you also worship this kind of thing, you also do this kind of thing. No. He not playing. He ain't never changed that law. He ain't never changed it. He's never changed it. Not one time. So the difference, let me get back to the point I was trying to make. The difference between divination, manifesting, and prayer is that when you pray to the Most High for what you want, you're actually not trying to circumvent the source. You're going to the source of everything. What the Muslims say is Allah. There's nothing that's not in the treasures of Allah. Allah have every treasure. Everything is with Allah. One of his attributes is Ar-Razaq. Allah is the provider. Allah provides everything. The air you breathe, the water you drink, the money you need, the clothes you need. Everything comes from Allah. It don't come from a job. It don't come from a company. It don't come from another person. Everything. Allah use whatever means he wants, but he's the source of it. So when he say you come to me and you ask me, that's because he the source. He got the authority to do it. Everything is in the treasures of Allah. He warns us not to let Shaitan delude us through fear of poverty. Don't fear loss in this world. I got you. I got you. Because whatever I said that you supposed to get, nobody can deny you. And what I denied you, nobody can give you. If I deny it, you can't have it. I don't care what spell you cast. If I deny it, you can't get it. And when you make dua, when you pray, when you supplicate to Allah, you're doing so in righteousness, and you are then going to put your effort, a righteous effort, into what it is that you want. You want $1,000. You can work for the $1,000, or you can rob a bank for the $1,000, or you can rob somebody at gunpoint for the $1,000. Either way, you get the $1,000. But which one you gonna burn in hell for? Do you understand? You can pray for the $1,000 and try to work. Or you cannot pray for the $1,000 and hold somebody at gunpoint for the $1,000. You might get the $1,000, but what's the consequence? Allah don't need us to go into haram in order to get anything. He doesn't need us to do that. He don't need us to ask other so-called sources to give it to us. He don't need us to do that. He requires, however, obedience. To the best of your ability, obedience to his order. You don't do what you want to do. You do what he tell you to do. The other way, they want payment. You're not going to want to pay what they charge. You're not going to want to pay what they charge. The jinn charge you. You're not going to want to pay that. And the more powerful you become in that world, the more you have to give them. There's always an exchange, all the time. So you want to be powerful in that world. You want to be powerful in the witchcraft world. You want to be a powerful witch or warlock. Fine. But you have to become a shayateen yourself. The human shayateen. You have to become a human shayateen. You have to start identifying with them and doing what they do in order to have what they have. So all that stuff that Allah say you can't do, you got to do all of it. So the more powerful witches and warlocks, they cannibalize, they eat blood, bones, feces. The more powerful you become, the more you have to debase your humanity, because that's what you can't have. Allah created humanity in a noble way. So you have to debase that to come into more power and more power and more power. Because there's levels to that. Everybody ain't at the same level. Everybody don't know the same thing, and everybody can't do the same thing. Just like it's levels to being spiritually inclined towards the Most High. Some people are very pious. Some people not so much. So I know it's people that's in my chat room that's listening to this that hate that I'm saying it. Well, we don't like Islam, and Islam ain't right. I don't care what you think. Listen, let me tell y'all something real quick. I don't care what you like and don't like when it comes to me and my deen. I don't care. I don't serve Allah for you. I serve him for me. Whether you believe in Allah or disbelieve in Allah is your business. That's your business. And I'm not interfering in your business. Allah gave everybody free will for a reason. But you're not about to take me off my square just because you got something ignorant to say. I'm going to stand on that business. I live in it. And by the grace of Allah, I'm going to die in it. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay? So it don't make me no never mind about you not liking that I'm Muslim, or you think I'm on the wrong path because I'm Muslim, or you think I'm doing something. I don't care what you think I'm doing. Okay? The fact that you come here to try to say something disparaging about it, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's on you. Allah already told me what you think. So I don't need to hear what you think. Allah already told me what you think. Allah already told us in the Quran that what come out of your mouths, what's in your heart is way worse. Never mind what you said. What you think is way worse than that. So I don't care. But I'm here to give information. And you can take it or you can leave it. that again, that's up to you. That's up to you. If you think that this whole show I just did was a bunch of foolishness, I ain't about to argue with nobody about it. I'm not arguing about nothing that Allah already said what was what. And listen, no heat, no judgment to it. I'm not going to be mad at nobody if they don't believe nothing that I said today. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at nobody. I promise you I'm not upset. And I'm not going to be upset. It don't make me upset. It don't upset me. People have every right to believe or disbelieve whatever they want to believe or disbelieve. If you practice it, up to you. So please don't take what I said as I'm mad at somebody. I'm not mad at anybody. I just don't debate it. It is what it is. And I said what I said. Let's see what I got. Thank you, LLC John. Peace Crimson, do you have a book that you can recommend that speaks more on this? No, not unless you're going to read the Bible or the Quran. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't have a book outside of those that I could recommend on this topic. Thank you, Ruminant. So this makes me wonder what dark arts Maurice White was playing with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Those symbols on those old album covers are real suspect looking back. Because I don't think that the groups had a lot of creative control over them, because the album covers of the 70s and the 80s was trippy. Oh, yeah, it was trippy. But I believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe that the record companies were casting spells and doing things over that music and creating the imagery for those album covers for a reason. I don't know that the artists ever thought about it or had much creative control concerning it. But that's just my, 2 cents. But thank you. Thank you, Scorched Earth. Said witchcraft is degeneracy. Thank you, Son from Brooklyn. Said Salam Muslim. As you already know, the 4 Kuls in the Quran on a minimal level is a believer's protection against witchcraft. May Allah protect you. Ameen. And thank you, Samira, for becoming a member. I appreciate you, sis.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go I hope that this was informative for some, you know, that you get something out of it. Protect yourselves. Protect yourselves and your loved ones. Ask the Most High for protection. Allah is al-Wakil, the protector. So ask for protection. And with that, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, is the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.